Thank you. Wow. Yeah, unlocking Scalable XR from custom builds to scalable enterprise solutions. I would say Scalable XR is probably the topic of AWE 2024, I would say. My name is Troelsgaard, and I'm CEO and co-founder of SynergyXR. Together with me on stage, I have Sune Wolff, who is the co-founder also and CTO of the company. And then, as you can see, we are missing one person on the stage here today. It's Kasper Lyhne Hansen, who is a product architect from Vestas. Kasper, of personal matters, he couldn't be here today because, well, he's in that lucky situation. He just had a child. Yeah. But a little bit before, it should be, everything is good and he's happy, but unfortunately he couldn't join us today. But luckily we were able to have a video interview with Kasper before we went here, so it's gonna feel like he will be here on stage with us. So yeah, let's get started. So by 2030, the global worker shortage will cost more than 8.2 trillion euros. And just alone in the manufacturing industry, there are over 10 million jobs that remain vacant due to a skills gap. And that is important because just the manufacturing industry alone is behind 15% of the European GDP, but also 11.4% of the American GDP. When we look at downtime, then each year it costs $50 billion of unplanned downtime on machinery. And just in the United States alone, there are 99 million workdays lost due to work-related injuries. And insufficient training is one of the main causes of downtime. Poorly trained employees create dangerous environments, and of course this increases the risks, not the chances, but the risks of work-related injuries. So the demand for a smarter and more flexible solutions to educate and upskill workers have never been bigger within the industrial sector. Our mission and 3 business agendas that we are focusing on within the industrial sectors are safety first. It's important to us and, of course, our customers that their employees get home every day safely and secure. The next one is knowledge transfer. Within the industrial sectors, there is what we're looking at. I think it's called the silver tsunami. There's a lot of older people that is on the way on retirement that's been with the companies for 20 and 30 years with a lot of knowledge. And this knowledge, the way they used to train it, is like peer-to-peer training and transferring that to the younger generation. But the problem is the younger generation will not stay 30 years in the company. They will stay more like 1, 2, or 3 years in the company and then move on to another position or another company. So there's a huge risk for losing a lot of knowledge. So it screams for digitalization and standardization. And last but not least, of course, operational excellence. Downtime on employees and machinery costs a lot of money within these industries. Of course, I know I'm preaching to the choir here at AWE, but yes, XR is extremely good at transferring this kind of knowledge because you can get to a level where we activate activity-based learning, which means that you have faster learning curves, you're building up muscle memory in the body. Once you're actually doing practical stuff, it's more immersive. And of course, you also can do training without people getting injured or it has any impact on the production. So, also, what we have heard the last yesterday at least, and also this morning from many of the talks, is that we are now at a stage inside organizations where the last couple of years we've done prototyping, we've done proof of business, done business cases. So right now we are finally seeing a demand out in the big organizations for more XR and more, faster basically implementation of these technologies. And these are some of the use cases we have on the platform that we see. Of course, there's sales enablement with all AR product catalogs, and in marketing, it's like showrooms, prototyping, design reviews. But where it's growing the fastest and where we have extremely good business cases is when it comes to onboarding and training of employees, and also global collaboration, because these are usually very large and global organizations. And that's when it starts scaling, when you need to remove friction, speed up development, and actually bring down the cost of development as well. And this is where I will hand it over to Kasper from Vestas.
My name is Kasper. I'm a product architect at Vestas Wind Systems in Aarhus. And together with my product owner, we drive a product team called Digital Assist and XR. Historically, it's only really been possible to receive VR content as the subject matter expert if someone can support you in actually building it. And I've given this analogy a few times, I think, where imagine every time you had to create a PowerPoint presentation, and the first thing you needed to do was create an IT ticket requesting a set of slides that are blank for you to then actually populate with content. And whenever you need changes to that PowerPoint presentation, you also need to create another ticket for that team to update it. You don't have the autonomy and freedom to really create and govern your own content. And so that also speaks into the scalability of where at least we have been in the past to where we want to go. Because we want to give that autonomy back into the people in the business that actually needs to create content. So when we talk about scalability, it's really important that we can then eliminate the process of needing to have someone do certain parts of the content creation for you and instead just enable you to do it yourself. Without going into too much detail, we had deliverables into our manufacturing area in Vestas, where we needed to, and actually still do, need to deliver a training content package. The business needed it a while ago, but the lead time on it was just too significant. So it actually put in jeopardy the potential for future deliverables because we simply weren't able to shorten the lead time. So again, scalability by being able to employ ambassadors out into the business to actually work on the content for themselves. We have multiple different iterations of VR platforms that we've either licensed or attempted to build ourselves. Internally, we've for some time attempted to build our own VR platform and have been successful at that. But recognizing the developments in the market, you have to be able to admit defeat at a certain point when someone is able to do it for you at a better pace and better supported. The ease of access for content that we can put onto the platform, the cloud infrastructure that's set up where we can push and manage access and push content and spaces and procedures. We didn't have that as part of our own internally built one. It's become a standard, I feel, but Synergy has been the first ones to actually build a platform that's very intuitive for us to manage the content that we wish to use.
Thank you, Kasper. Yeah, so Scalable XR using Synergy, where Kasper also mentioned that. We also, like Vestas have been doing internally as well, having their own Unity team. We also came out as a custom development team. We used to be, the same team behind SynergyXR is the team that was behind Unity Studios. And for over a decade, we have been creating custom-made developments for some of the largest organizations all over the world, well, from data visualizations, but also training platforms. And this is where we identified a need for a platform to be able to do things yourself without having to be a Unity or Unreal developer, where you could go in with drag and drop features and make it extremely simple. When we looked at creating applications in Unity ourselves, or it's the same within Unreal, maybe a little longer as well. You can see on the development cycles, it easily for a training application can take 4 to 8 months, depending, of course, the complexity of the training application. And we actually have been able to cut down that training time or development time on those training applications to 2 to 4 weeks, which is a huge improvement, of course. But this is where I'll hand it over to Sune.
All right. So thanks a lot. So I'll try and explain in a bit more detail how we try to achieve this with SynergyXR in its current form and also in future iterations. So as Kasper mentioned, the backbone of SynergyXR is really our cloud CMS system that enables the end user themselves to upload 3D content, images, videos, you name it, in a secure platform, fully authoritative, so the end user don't have to worry about that. And then we have a whole range of client applications covering all sort of major XR-capable devices. So everything from standalone VR headsets from Meta, HTC Pico, Apple Vision Pro, but also your mobile phone, your iPad, your Windows desktop PC, and your Mac. Everything, all of those different applications can be used to access said content and build training experiences within SynergyXR. It is multi-user per default, so everything we do, you can just invite colleagues in to co-create or even train as a group of people. We've also done several integrations with relevant systems, so learning management systems, so you can still manage your trainings in your LMS and just have an easy way of getting people in and consuming the right training content within SynergyXR. Also done live data visualization in the platform, different upload APIs, just a platform in its true form to make it easy to work with and integrate with existing systems. So we really see this as being sort of the foundation. So instead of starting on the ground floor, we allow our end users to start on the first floor, built on a solid foundation on security and capabilities and multi-user and device-agnostic platform. On top of that, you can then build 3D experiences with some of our environments, or you can build your entire own. You can build your own or add your own content, and you can build your hard content. And that's really where we visualize that. You can start building floors on top of this solid foundation. A few years ago, we also added what we call a procedure system, which is our detailed training system, enabling end users to interact with a proper training as you would expect from a custom-developed training scenario, but within this platform, of course, accessible from all the different hardware devices and in multi-user. And this is just an example of how a training could look like in Synergy. And as you will see, this is not revolutionary in itself. This is what you would expect from a detailed hard skills training scenario, where you can interact with different objects, you can use tools, stuff like that. Up until a few days ago, this was something that only we internally could build, so we helped out our customers by building these training scenarios on top of SynergyXR, but all that ends today. We just recently announced SynergyXR 3.0, and with that, we have added a tool to the PC platform called the Procedure Builder. This is a complete no-code tool, drag and drop, enabling end users to create really intricate, detailed trainings right inside the PC platform. You can add your own content, you can add colliders and grab points, you can add it to the 3D scene, and you can start building the interactions through a number of steps. We have a lot of different kinds of operations or tools in the toolbox that enables you to easily just choose if the user should pick up a tool, move to a certain spot, look at a safety light, whatever you want. And everything is done through drag and drop down lists, making it very, very easy, not requiring a single line of code. Yeah, and as you can see, like everything, there's a lot of quality of life tools there as well, complete redo, undo. So if you make a mistake, you just undo and you continue on your merry way. And we have a complete synchronized view between the list view of different steps and the 3D scene, making it very easy to see how far along you've progressed in the training. Once you've built your training, It's basically as easy as pressing play in PowerPoint. You can just go into test mode and test it right away. So here you can see we added a small step asking the user to check the safety light. And you can see that's already live there. There you go. So it's very easy to build and iterate, make corrections, test again, continue building. And once you're happy with the end result, it's very easy to just press a button, save everything to the cloud CMS system, and the training is instantly available to all your colleagues around the globe. During the development of this tool, it has taken a bit of time, I will admit. We have had the pleasure of inviting companies like Vestas to early trying out the early versions of the tool. So I'll also hand it over to Kasper again to share a little bit of his experience and his expectations about a tool like this. So there you go, Kasper.
So the procedure builder is really, in my opinion, a revolutionary tool within the space of content creation for VR. But also not only for VR, because the Synergy platform is agnostic. So we can also use it on PC, on mobile devices, which enables us to provide this content to the guys out on the field. You have the ability to apply colliders and prep models, is what I guess I want to call it. So you're able to import a model and then define how should a user be interacting with this model. This is previously something that has to be done in Unity. Someone who knew Unity had to actually do it for you. Now you can just use one single centralized tool for you to both prep the models and apply them into VR scenarios. In addition to that, creating the workflow and the procedures, each of the individual steps, now no longer requires you to be able to understand coding languages or using additional software to program it in. It's all in a centralized platform that enables us to just drag and drop and click boxes to now set up procedures and steps and the content that needs to go with them. It's going to enable us to create what I guess I'd like to call ambassadors out into the business. So the technical training developer who is specializing in which types of content you should build and what step 1, 2, and 3 should be and why, and enabling them to build VR content themselves. The two biggest values that we're able to harvest using the procedure builder is, one, we want to reduce the lead time for content generation, and second, we want to be able to provide this content to quicker upskill our technicians and lower the time to competency. I am extremely excited about the procedure builder coming to SynergyXR, as I can see this being the enabler we've been waiting for now to actually enable our technical training writers and our training centers and our people out in the organization to build, own, and maintain VR content and 3D interactive content moving forward.
All right, so yeah, we want to thank Kasper for being here on stage, at least in spirit and in video, to share a bit about his thoughts about Scalable XR and the new opportunities with the SynergyXR procedure builder. Yeah. Maybe you can mention when they went to. Yeah, so we had a few workshops with Vestas, but we had one day where we had like 6 of Kasper's colleagues join the office, and I went through the procedure builder, showed them how it worked. I spent like an hour and a half showing them the ins and outs of the tool. And afterwards, they were amazed, but a few of them also said, but we're probably never going to be able to use that. It seems quite capable. There's a lot to learn here. And I said, well, you're going to show me, because after lunch, you will actually be working with it. So they had like an hour and a half, 2 hours after lunch, where they just dove in and started building. And at the end of that, they already built like 8 or 10 step scenarios that they could deploy and run on a VR headset. So, of course, everything comes with a bit of practice. It is sort of a user tool, a super user tool, needs a little bit of training, but we try to make it as simple, as intuitive as humanly possible. So we can't wait to see what people will build. Yeah, and that's all we had today. There's plenty of time for questions, so feel free.
Thank you. I was told, magic happened. Thank you for making life easier for people like me who have no idea about Coda, but are very good at clicking boxes. And if you have any questions, please feel free to stand up, go to the mic, or just raise your hand, and I'll come round with this mic. So, are there any questions?
Hi. Nice presentation. I work for a main contractor, and we use Revit to create our own BIM models. How easy is it to import those models into the platform?
Yeah, so as with everything, like it needs to be converted into a polygon file format. So we use natively GLB, but we also support FBX models. So you will need to translate those or export them into one of those formats. We point to different collaborators, like tools that can help you optimize that process, like Pixies or Ethereum solutions. There are a few solutions out there that can help optimize those models. But that is, sorry?
To optimize it before you upload it or import it into the...
Exactly, exactly. Thanks.
So the limitations are still on the consumer devices, so still on the standalone headsets and, of course, phones as well. That limits the small GPUs that is in here, how much you can push through. Of course, when you sit with Revit or Bentley as a BIM program on a big stationary PC, of course, that can take a lot more compute power. But when you push it out, you certainly need to do some optimization. But again, that is with BIM models, but BIM models is usually very big. When we look at CAD models, different components, so for example in SolidWorks, it's now SolidWorks is able, in SolidWorks you're able to actually export GLB models now with the new versions of SolidWorks. And many of those smaller models, it's easy just to upload directly into the platform. So of course it depends on how much content you throw in there, how good it will run, right? Yeah. But good question, thank you. Any more questions? Great.
Hello, thank you. It's a very new program to me, so I don't know much. You said that it's multiplayer. How many people can be in one scenario thing?
Yeah. So we have a limit today of 25 concurrent players. And we probably would suggest a bit fewer, especially the audio can be quite overwhelming. So we have spatial audio, so you hear the voice from the individual avatars. So it's not only a lot of data, but also it can be overwhelming.
Is there some kind of how close you are to each
yes.
that you can hear? Yeah. So it's not going to be like everybody
exactly.
is loud.
So there's like spatial attenuation. So the further away from people you are, the more the voice is dampened. So that enables like Mads and I to have a conversation here and like two other persons across the room without, like you can hear them talk, but you don't interfere with their conversation. That is possible, yeah.
How about the licensing? Because we are in vocational college in Finland, so we are not like big company, but we would like to do some own training and make that kind of stuff. So is there some kind of school licensing thing, or is it just business? You are selling for bigger manufacturer?
Our main focus is definitely for bigger enterprises, but reach out. We can probably make something work.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, and we also have a partner program for content creators, of course, so they can also build on a business on top of the platform as well, being content like trainers and create trainings for their customers. I just want to highlight that is in one session running, that you can be up to 25 people at the time, but you can have as many sessions running as you like. So you get multiple sessions, so in a training situation or an onboarding situation, you can have multiple sessions where the trainer can jump in and out of the different sessions and jump in and out of with the trainees, basically. So at the same time.
So thank you so much for telling us about this novelty, and we take a short break of 5 minutes, and then we'll go on with our program with the next talk, and I'm sure that Sune and Mads will hang around a little bit if you have further questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.